wait, let me see. Okay. Boom. Boys, a quickie video. Why? Because Goldegg, he's the guy that fucking actually puts work into his videos. They're absolute, unlike some people like me, lul. Absolute fucking banger incoming. The Lost Japanese Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike is a tried and true game, having many official versions and countless sequels.
Which one's
but
your
none
favorite?
of these are quite like Counter-Strike Neo, a version of Counter-Strike so obscure that it was practically erased from existence. Hidden away in Japanese arcades, built with Valve's blessing, featuring futuristic characters, brand new lore, and maps that don't exist anywhere else. A game that's now nothing more.
Chat. I know sometimes I jokingly say, I want one, I need this. AKA when it's about a skin. I want one of those fucking Counter-Strike arcade machines. Are you serious? If you have one, reach out to me.
More than a faint memory in Counter-Strike history, lost to time. In this video, I'm going to be covering the history of the game, what made it so special and unique, and what ultimately happened to it. So let's start from the beginning. The year was 2000. Bandai Namco, yes, that Bandai Namco, led by Tetsu Tsuchiya, wanted to replicate the success of Counter-Strike by bringing it to Japan. The only issue was, most of Japan didn't care much for competitive shooters like Counter-Strike, so Tetsu and his team devised a plan. What if, instead of hoping people would suddenly download Counter-Strike at internet cafes and learn it, they made a unique and catered version just for Japan at arcades, because people go to arcades to play video games. Tetsu also decided against creating a brand new title to compete with Counter-Strike.
Whoa. They had female agent skins way before us, huh?
Mainly because of budget constraints. Instead, he chose to work with Counter-Strike because of its already rising popularity at the time. In the meantime, Namco set up an arcade called Lead Zone in the heart of Tokyo, Japan. This store was meant to be the foreground of Namco's experimental titles, which didn't only include Counter-Strike. They were actually originally meant for more MMORPG type games, which is why they aren't your typical arcade machines. Instead, being a Linux-based computer with set peripherals that you couldn't change.
Wait. GeForce 4600. It's not that bad, or? What do I have? 4090. 4600?
They aren't your typical arcade machines, instead being a Linux-based computer with set peripherals that you couldn't change and had loud-ass speakers. But thankfully you could plug in headphones if you asked the staff nicely.
Lord.
As time went on though, Namco really anchored onto the idea of Counter-Strike, which started their first rounds of production on the style and story of the game. Instead of the typical terrorists versus counter-terrorists, they decided to replace them with two new factions. The CT side is called Neo, and the T side is called CSF. The story for CS Neo is pretty interesting as well. Let me try to summarize it real fast. In this world, or more like the future, an evil corporation named Neo was trying to set up a space station to the moon to get resources from space much easier. However, this didn't end up working. Not because Neo messed something up, but instead a world-changing disaster that was an asteroid colliding with the moon. Unlucky. This asteroid completely destroyed the moon and sent debris from it straight down to Earth. The explosion and debris mainly affected areas near the Gulf of Mexico, but it also managed to shift the Earth's axis. While the rest of the world was in chaos, Neo saw an opportunity. That resource-rich asteroid could help aid their efforts at becoming a world superpower, and with the rest of the world struggling, it seemed even more possible. The resources from the asteroid helped Neo advance technology to crazy levels, which is why the Neo team in the game are so—
Dude, why does this fucking this old Counter-Strike that nobody like played outside has this cool lore?